Eswatini citizens are protesting against the government's decision to host U.S. migrants convicted of violent crimes. Now, President Donald Trump's administration deported offenders from Cuba, Jamaica, Laos, Vietnam and Yemen to Eswatini. The government says the group will eventually be repatriated to their home countries. Now, opposition parties have criticized the decision to accept the inmates, calling it human trafficking. Let's unpack the story with Zweli Dlamini, Swaziland news editor, joins us via our video link. Zweli, it's good to talk to you. And that's been a headline we've seen many times, right? That this is actually human trafficking disguised as deportation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's true there was a protest in Eswatini by women's rights organizations last week, Thursday. They delivered a petition to the ambassador at the United States Embassy situated in Newzroom. And there was supposed to be another protest on Friday, which is today. This time it was organized by the Swaziland Liberation Movement, that is a Swalimo, in collaboration with other political entities. But unfortunately, it appears that the protest has been postponed. They are still strategizing how they will approach it, because in Eswatini, protests are restricted. The citizens are not allowed to protest. And normally when they try to protest, the police normally target those who are organizing those protests.
Yeah, I mean, the big issue with this deal is that we know very little about the terms of the deal, right? Other than the fact that the US is footing the costs of keeping the men locked up. But why would Eswatini make a decision like this and agree to these terms?
Thank you for that question. You will understand that after Donald Trump took over as the president of the United States, he introduced what is known as a trade tariff to try and control other member states, to try and play to the political garage of the United States. So Eswatini, if you analyze the tariffs, Eswatini is one of the few countries where Donald Trump is appearing to be soft when it comes to issues of Eswatini. So now we understand that Donald Trump is now using Eswatini as a dumping ground, because he's currently embarking on a massive deportations, which he calls cleaning the United States. So Eswatini, the current regime known as the Tinkundla regime, that is linked to the monarch, absolute monarchy, is currently enjoying close diplomatic ties with the United States. That's why even when the pro-democracy groups engage in a protest, the United States is always to the current regime. So these deals, unfortunately, that is seeks to undermine state security, appears to be in exchange of the what they call it warm diplomatic relations with the United States.
Yeah, and the issue that you've just raised now, the questions about legality, about transparency, about the safety of particularly women and girls, is the reason why this protest is taking place.
Of course, because after the women rights organizations received the information suggesting that among these deported criminals are those who were previously convicted of child rape and murder, they immediately organized the protest. And these organizations that delivered the petition last week include 1 Billion Rising and other women's rights organizations that include Lipimbo Labomag, which is a Siswati a word meaning a collaboration of women's voices, and of course other groups that are vibrant and vocal when it comes to issues of women, because according to their understanding, they are fearing that if these criminals could escape, maybe girls and women will be at risk, they might be raped. So that's the concern that is currently in the Kingdom of Eswatini now.
Yeah, and I suppose the other concern, of course, is the fact that Eswatini has said that they are ready to receive more deportees, depending on the availability of facilities and, how negotiations with the US go.
Yes, there's a United Nations report, and if I recall very well, because I got hold of it sometime 2 weeks ago, it was compiled by the United Nations Development Program. suggesting that Eswatini prisons are currently overcrowded. And it's not only that report, even the King, when it addressed the correctional services, he did mention that he will consider releasing some of the prisoners in Eswatini through what is known as the prerogative of mercy, because the prisons are currently overcrowded with, of course, limited resources to take care of these convicted criminals. But according to the information that we received from Cabinet, the agreement suggests that the United States might dump more criminals. In fact, it's over 150, with the actual number being alleged to be 160 criminals, including dangerous terrorists who have been rejected by the United States and other countries. They will then be dumped to the Kingdom of Eswatini.
Yeah, it's still a developing story, just given the fact that so little information has been made available. Let me thank you for your time. Zweli Dlamini is the Swaziland news editor, and we continue to track that story as protests unfold in that country.